Hello and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. So today I am exploring with you innate resilience, and it's on the 2-year anniversary of the UK going into its first lockdown, and it seems like a day to consider innate resilience. And when I reflect on the last couple of years, I see it everywhere. I don't know where in the world you are accessing this, but here I have seen the resilience of human beings time and time again. People who pivoted businesses within a very short period of time, people who create new businesses, people who bounced back from great adversity, people who have grieved and come out the other side of that. And just seeing that brings me, it gives me a wonderful feeling, because what I would hope you would see in this next few minutes is that that's inside all of us all the time. Now, a lot of the time we don't see it. We miss it. We literally do miss it happening, particularly in ourselves, because there's a voice in our head telling us that there are things about our behaviour that show that we're not resilient. I remember having a conversation with somebody who was grieving, who said, I'm not getting over this because I keep crying. Why do we think that crying means that we're not resilient? It seems like somebody's taken 2 and 2 and made 5 there at some point. Crying because you've lost someone or over all sorts of different things is a human response to our human thinking about things that are not okay in our lives. And the loss of somebody, of course, is a huge one of those things. Doesn't mean our resilience has gone away. The other thing I hear, and I heard this at the same time, was time. That we need to bounce back within a certain amount of time. And if we don't do that, there's something wrong with us. We're not resilient. Who's decided? Who's decided that the recovery, that the bounce back should happen within a certain period of time? I remember hearing a story, I don't know why my focus is hugely on grief today, but I remember hearing a story about a woman who, after 2 weeks after her husband of decades had died, went to the doctors because she didn't feel better, because she was still crying and feeling sad, and was given antidepressants. That's a whole other live, isn't it? That's a whole other session, a whole other conversation, but that neither the woman nor the doctor could see that that was a normal part of the human experience. Didn't need to be tampered with. It didn't need to be suppressed or stopped. And it didn't mean that the woman wasn't okay. But I think we've got this idea of resilience that it's literally this bullish kind of, I'm just bashing through everything, I'm only down for a few seconds and I'm back up again, and that's a sign that I'm resilient. And that excludes all other feelings, that it's not okay to be sad and still be resilient, that you can't be angry and resilient, that you can't feel frustrated and be resilient, that you can't be fearful and still be resilient, is an absolute lie. And here's where you can see it before all your conditioned thinking and all our societal conditioned thinking about resilience comes in. Here's where you can see it before that. And that is in your tiny children learning to walk. Like when a child is learning to walk, everything is going on. So they try to get up, they fall down, they might cry, they might get angry, be frustrated, but they still keep getting up again. The thing is that they're not seeing that once they're crying or upset about the situation, that it's the end of the world, that they can't possibly go on. They know that they're okay. And they just keep getting up time and time and time again. That is innate to all of us until we learn to attach all these other circumstances to resilience. The time, the fact that it's got to be within it's not a fact, the lie, actually, that it's got to be within a certain amount of time, that you're not resilient if you haven't bounced back by such period of time after something has happened, that you're not resilient if you're crying, that they're just all lies. But the little toddler hasn't learnt those lies, so they fall down, they cry, they get up, they get frustrated, they fall down again, and they get up, and they do it all time and time and time again, hundreds of times for some children before they actually walk. And it's all fine. And they're not putting a time scale on it either. We might be as adults. My daughter was quite a later walker than my son. It's because she was just so happy she wasn't that bothered to get up and move about. No frustration driving her. But the toddler isn't putting any time scale on. The toddler isn't going, oh, I've fallen down 100 times now, and I can't get up again. Why haven't I learnt to walk by now? Why do I keep falling down? And I'm not really good enough at this. I'm not resilient enough because I'm not walking yet. Because the toddler isn't doing that, the toddler is sitting in the middle of their innate resilience. They are connected to it. All that's happened to us is we've got this noise in our head that is disconnecting us from seeing how amazing we actually are. And I know over the last couple of years, we've all experienced some kind of adversity in some kind of thing that human beings don't really want to experience, whether that's been a loss of someone close to us or a loss of income or what feels like a loss of freedom in some way. Whatever it is, we've all experienced things that we haven't been our preference, to say the least, over the last couple of years. But what I want to celebrate is not just for the last couple of years, but just for always, is just seeing how amazing we actually are. And I suspect that you can see it in other people as you look out into the world, and then don't quite see it in yourself, because you are listening to this voice in your head that's saying you're not there, you're not resilient enough, you're not doing enough, you're not recovering fast enough. The word enough comes in a lot there, doesn't it? I think it comes in a lot in life generally, but especially around this topic. When you see that this resilience thing is innate, it's like, I can't remember where I first heard this, but it's like somebody's got a rope round your middle, and you're being somebody or something, some energy is just pulling you through life. You keep being pulled through life. You don't have to do it. You don't have to. I've spoken before about how you don't have to grow resilience through all sorts of tools and techniques. It's always there. Your noisy, conditioned thinking will get in the way of you seeing it frequently. But just knowing it's there, just knowing it is innate, just knowing that you have it in abundance like everybody else, I think that's helpful. So maybe just bringing some awareness to noticing in yourself, noticing how you do come back, No time scales, no decision that it's supposed to look a certain way. Just an awareness of you coming back time and time again from so many different things. So enjoy that little exploration, that consideration. Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.